Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Sonder Social. For those of you who may not know, because I haven't been hosting for a while, my name is Bailey Grady, and I will be your facilitator today. We have a super fun social tonight. There's lots of activities, and I'm really excited. So we'll probably go ahead and start diving in here soon. A few housekeeping things. One, if you're new here, let us know. Shout out, say, hey, that's me. Or if this is your first journal prompt social, let us know that in the chat as well. We would love to give you a big warm welcome. But basically, you don't have to worry about if your camera's on or off tonight. Only I have to worry about that. So if you are already, messy bun, don't care, in your PJs, whatever, you are a-okay. Don't have to worry about your camera suddenly coming on and showing everybody that. Although honestly, we would just be jealous. I wish I was in my PJs. So, but that does mean that you are communicating with each other tonight using that chat. So to do that, you're going to want to make sure that little blue box above where you type in Zoom is set to everyone. If it isn't set to everyone, it'll just go to hosts and panelists, and that's me and the wonderful Malika, who is here with us tonight. She is recovering from the flu. Bless her heart. But she's here. She's here hanging out. She's making it. She's surviving. So she's hanging out in the chat. If you send it to hosts and panelists, only she and I will see that. And you want to be able to share with the group, because one of the best things about coming to a social is getting to spend this time with your fellow Sonder fam community. So just make sure that you have that chat set to everyone. Also, as always, we'll go through our community guidelines here. Please be kind and courteous to yourself and to others. No promotions or spam. We respect everyone's privacy here, which also means no hate speech or bullying, of course. And if you would try to limit repetitive product and accessory questions, Sonder Club, our companion app, is actually the best place to get opinions on different things. Obviously, if it's relevant to what we're talking about, we're going to be doing some really fun things tonight, which may mean that you want to get out, artsy supplies and things. And if you want to talk about what artsy supplies and things you're using and sharing, we don't mind that. But this is also the fastest hour in the universe is this time we spend together. So we want to make sure you have enough time to do your actual activities. If there's anything that myself and Malika cannot assist with, we're going to direct you over to the headquarters team at hello@silkatsonder.com, and they should be able to take care of anything we cannot take care of. And then finally, Sonder Socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community. That's all of you. But you are responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. So in a nutshell, just take whatever you need tonight. We are going to be doing some really fun things, but if you're like, you know what, I'm tired. First of all, I feel you. Second of all, it's okay. You don't have to do all the fun things tonight. You can always just vibe and hang out in the chat and just be with your community. Sometimes that is kind of refilling up of your cup enough all by itself, just being able to chat with friends here and everything. So you can just get ideas for these activities and do them later. You can do them right now. You can chat with your friends. You can ignore the chat. Whatever it is that you need from tonight, we want you to take that. And this is being recorded. So if you need to come back and refer to this, you'll be able to do that as well at a later time. So we have a mini opening activity tonight, because what was going to be our opening activity actually moved to be a closing activity, because I think it'll be better there. And then we're going to hop into our awareness journal prompts. We're going to do our awareness doodling, which I'm very excited about. And then we'll do that closing activity that I mentioned. So we have our lovely theme of awareness. If you have not done a social with me yet this month, then you may not have heard my grandstanding soapbox about awareness, but long story short, awareness is about whatever it means to you. Like most of our themes, that's going to look and feel a little bit different for everyone. There's some various quotes up on the screen and things that may or may not speak to you, along with my own personal definition of awareness, which for me means being open to accepting yourself exactly as you are in this moment, and knowing what you can grow or change without compromising your authentic self. So as we are spending time with awareness this month and digging in, and as we're doing these activities tonight even, I hope that you're spending time with you. exactly as you are right now. Not who you hope to be, not who you once were, but just who you are right now in this moment. And that you're getting to spend some time knowing you, right? And what that means. And asking yourself, what are things that you do want to grow and that you do want to improve upon? And are those things aligned with you as an authentic person? Are those things coming from your inner voice personally, not the world, not society, not like, your weird aunt, whoever that used to say terrible things to you at family gatherings, but like your actual inner voice? Is it coming from you? And then always know and remember that you have the option to choose. Something can be authentic and it can be coming from within you of something you want to grow in or improve, and you still get to choose if this is the right time for you to act on that. So just try to keep those things in mind as you're engaging with the theme this month. Okay, we're going to do our little mini opening activity. So for this, all I want you to do is to think about one thing that you do for self-care now that you did not used to do before. This could be something small, it could be a big thing, it could be a new habit, it could be a change that you made, it could be something that you started doing recently, it could be something that you started doing in the last year or two. Just what is one thing that you do for your self-care now that you did not do before? And then if you feel comfortable sharing that in the chat, we would love to see that. We would love for you to share it. If not, that's okay. Just jot it down in your journal. If you find that you're thinking of multiple things, that's okay too. We would love to see multiple things too. But for now, we're just going to ask for at least one. So I'm going to put on a quick song for you all, and then we're going to get into our next activity. Okay, thank you all for listing those amazing ways that you practice self-care. Also, those of you who mentioned there was like some sort of weird AI note-taking message at the beginning, that user's been removed. We do consider the chats here private, so shout out to Malika for jumping on that so quickly. So no AI note-taking here. So hopefully this was a good little primer for our first journal prompt, which you're going to find on page 14. So if you'll go ahead and flip to page 14 in your journals, we're going to start with what's at the top of this page, which is asking us to reflect on how your understanding of awareness has shifted over time and how it currently supports your well-being. What does awareness mean to you in this season of your life? And I would like you to think a little bit about that little mini opening activity we just did while you're considering this prompt, because if you're like, oh man, this feels weird, I'm kind of stuck, like thinking about that opening activity, there must have been something that you experienced or became aware of that caused you to lean into that self-care. Whether it was, establishing a better sleep routine because you were realizing how tired you felt all the time, or if it was realizing that you were feeling drained and it was because you were never getting alone time, right? And you needed to carve out sort of some social rest for yourself, if you will. A lot of those self-care things that we establish for ourselves, and especially the ones that we weave into our regular practice, are really rooted in awareness as a cause. Because a lot of the times we'll start different things and we'll try different things and we're excited about them. But the things that we really integrate into our lives, we do so because they work for us. And the reason that they work for us is because we know there's a need there. We see the benefits, right? Like you're checking in with yourself and you're realizing, like, oh, this is helping me and this is, improving this area for me and I'm feeling better and all of these things. So if you get stuck on this, just think back to that self-care. But for me, what I said is that I have always been a very aware person, which is true, maybe sometimes a little over aware. But there were some things that, despite all my observations, remained a mystery to me. And one of them was my anxiety. I mean, I've probably had it my whole life, but I didn't realize that until like probably almost 10 years ago. So I was kind of there the whole time and I didn't know. Um, but I also didn't really understand like where it was rooted, what triggered it, why it made me feel the way that it does. And through lots of work and therapy and time, I now feel much more in tune with my nervous system. And when a moment of anxiety hits, I focus on supporting myself rather than trying to analyze in the moment. And that new awareness of how to walk alongside my anxiety and meet my needs rather than fighting against them has opened a ton of new doors for me and possibilities in my life. And I am so, so grateful to be at this point in my journey. And I will share with all of you that, like, there was very much a time where I did not think that I was ever going to get to a manageable place with my anxiety. It manifested in a lot of physical ways for me. It definitely interrupted my daily life, and it still does sometimes. But I just don't get angry about it anymore. I don't get frustrated. I just accept myself for exactly as I am and where I am in my journey. And I appreciate the fact that my anxiety is really just my body communicating very loudly that it needs something. It's not trying to work against me. It's not my enemy. It's just my body trying really hard to communicate something that maybe I've been ignoring or maybe I missed, right? And maybe it's an overreaction too, but that's okay. All of us get a little overwhelmed, right? And our bodies are no exception. But it's taken a lot of time and work to get here. So if you're on a similar journey, don't give up. Keep trying. I promise it can and will get better, even if you feel like it might not. So I've also got some little energy drainers and retainers here that you can think about as sort of some inspiration of other things you may be aware of or have become aware of. And I will put on some music for you all. If you feel comfortable sharing in the chat what you're writing in this space, we would love to hear it. And then we'll move on to our next journaling prompt. Okay. Thank you all for sharing. If you're still working, don't worry, we're not going far. We're just hopping down to the bottom of this same page. And this is asking us to explore our habits, relationships, emotions, and thoughts. Where are you most in tune and where might you be on autopilot? So over on the left-hand side, I have this image. It was hard to find like a good image of this, but this one really just spoke to me of what it looks like when two sounds are in tune versus out of tune. That's like what the sound waves look like. And you can see like when they're in tune, it's flowing and there's like it looks like a ribbon, right? Like it looks like a red, white, and blue ribbon, one single thing versus out of tune, you can see like it's coming farther apart. And like if you've ever heard two instruments that are out of tune, you know it literally makes this like whoa, 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 whoa almost noise. And that's the visualization of that. So when you're thinking about being in tune, you're thinking about areas that are not just flowing well and going well, but that you are responding to feedback. And what I mean by that is when you play an instrument and you have to stay in tune, as the instruments start to warm up, the pitches change, and sometimes you have to literally change your instrument and change how it is put together a little bit to stay in tune with the people that you're playing with. It's not really any different when it comes to your habits, your body, your relationships, your emotions. Like it's not just about being in flow when everything is starting out. It's about listening to yourself and making changes based on your needs and how things are fluctuating. It's getting that constant call and response with yourself and checking in and going, hey, is this going well? Is this going good? Do we need to change anything? Do we need to make adjustments? That is being in flow and in tune versus being on autopilot. It could feel like things that are out of sync. It could feel like that out of tune graphic, but it also could feel like playing Tetris without trying. If you play Tetris without trying, inevitably those little blocks are going to line up. They are, some of them will. And so a few of those rows will clear, right? Like they'll just kind of fall into place. Some of them will. But eventually they will stack up, right? And then you're going to lose the game because if you are not being intentional about how you move those little blocks and make them connect together, it's all going to overflow and pile up, right? And you're not going to like clear out those lines. So when you're thinking about being on autopilot, it also might feel like that like you're going through the motions, you're getting things done, you're checking off your habits, your to-dos, or whatever it is, but it isn't this like actual intentional process anymore where you're actually asking yourself like is this fulfilling me, and not just with your habits but again like with your relationships, with your friendships, checking in with like your moods and things, right? Are you actually being intentional with the actions and plans and things that you're doing, or are you just kind of going through the motions and continuing to do what has always kind of been in place for you without actually stopping to say, does this work for me? So all good things to think about. For me, I just made a quick little list. Like, I feel very in tune with my body and my emotions, my marriage, our cats. I feel kind of on auto-ish pilot with like our home environment. It's just kind of chaos right now because we're renovating and it is what it is. And, you might feel a little on autopilot about something you can't really control, and that's okay. My self-care practices, some of those are feeling a little on autopilot. I should probably check in there. Some of my friendships I need to be more intentional with, and my morning routine is crazy. And then work and finances, I feel like it depends on the day and what's going on. So I put those in the middle. So I'm going to put on a song for you to think about this prompt. And then we're going to move into our next page together. Share with us what's coming up in the chat, what you're thinking about. If you have suggestions about how you got more in tune in some of these areas that you do feel in tune with, or if you have suggestions about how to maybe switch up things on autopilot, definitely share those. Thank you all for spending some time here. If you're still working, that's okay. As we always say here, our time together is short, but your journal isn't going anywhere. So it's okay if you need to come back to this later or keep working on it or whatever you need to do. But we are going to hop over to page 21 now, and this is going to be really fun. So on page 21, it says, sometimes the most powerful way to check in with yourself is to pause, pick up a pen, and let your hand lead the way. No words needed. Set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes and doodle freely. Lines, shapes, swirls, or symbols. Anything that comes naturally. So here is what my doodle page ended up looking like here. I literally just started with like lines and patterns. Like none of this was intentional at all. Um, I started with like slashes. I ended up doing little swirls. I drew little flowers, blah, 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 whatever, right? And at the end, I actually showed my husband, I was like, look at this fun little page or whatever. And he was like, oh my gosh, it's a garden. It's a garden with like a little path and like doors and decorations. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's right. Like it is. It is a little like there's a little like gravel pathway here. There's like doors, there's like banners hanging up, and I didn't see or intentionally draw any of that. I just freely doodled, okay? So there are benefits to doodling. Stress relief, very similar to coloring, right? It can allow you to express emotions. There can be self-discovery in doodling. You might find that you enjoy doing certain things or that this is calming for you, or that there are certain things like ruminating on your mind. It's almost like an active meditation, right? It is mindfulness in motion, and it's also resilience building because when you do it intentionally like this, and you don't assign any rules to yourself, even if you feel like you make a mistake, if you just keep going, that is like building small little moments of resilience within yourself. So there are no rules when it comes to doodles. All doodles are good doodles. There's nobody coming to grade your doodle. There is no award for the best doodle or not award for a not good doodle because, again, all doodles are good doodles. I love doodles. I think that they are so personal. I think they are as personal as handwriting. And they're just like things that we don't really talk about. Like, it's like this thing that people do sometimes, like in the privacy of the corner of their notebooks or as like kids, but we don't ever talk about it as like an actual practice or like form of self-expression, and we should. So here are some other little doodles for inspiration. Obviously some of these have been done like on a tablet with Procreate and things, but sometimes when it comes to shapes and stuff, you just need a little bit of reference material. And I know that our prompt said that no words are needed, and that's true, no words are needed. But if you're somebody that you are more comfortable with words than you are shapes, that's okay. There's a way to doodle with words, and you can see that up on the screen there. And then I have some more examples here for you of just different line patterns that you can try. Over in the top left, literally all those are different line patterns. The person like over on the right, it looks like drew out kind of triangles and diamonds and then just filled in the spaces with different patterns. There's no rules. There's so no rules here that like there's not even lines for you to color here, guys, right? Like it is an empty space to do with what you want and just let your like brain chill for a minute, put that pen on the page and just let it go and let it flow and see what happens. If you really cannot do this for some reason, you could also do stickers, right? And maybe you could doodle around the sticker. So maybe you start with a single sticker and you just outline it and you outline it again and you outline it again and you outline it again, right? You could try that too. So this says 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to put on a good chunk of music for you all to work on this. And then we're going to move into our other super fun closing activity together. If you feel like sharing in the chat some of the strategies you're using or what this looks like, we would love to hear from you. But otherwise, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you all for spending some time with your doodles. If you're still doodling, that's okay. Keep doodling, continue to doodle later. I definitely was surprised at how much I got out of this page and how much I enjoyed it. I think it's kind of inspired me to maybe try to do this with a few of my blank pages every now and then, and see what happens. Never know what's going to pop up. So we are now hopping into our closing activity. Usually we just have an opening activity, but with this social, we did that mini opening activity to make room for this closing activity. So this is the paper connection. So we'd like for you to flip to a blank notes page, or this has a scratch pad, but honestly, you probably want a full page for this. So if you don't have one in this journal, maybe a previous journal, or maybe just grab a piece of notebook paper and just close your eyes for a few seconds and imagine finding a hand-addressed envelope in your mailbox amidst all the bills and junk. I think most of what I get nowadays is just junk. And jot down 3 words that describe how you feel when you receive a handwritten letter. Then think of one person who hasn't heard your offline voice in a while and write their name at the top of your page. And think about what you would like to write to them. So we're going to ask you to write a letter to somebody here. So when you're writing your letter, and don't worry, we'll hop back and forth between all of these slides while you're working on your letters, but you can think about the right now to get started. So describe one sensory detail about your current moment. I'm sitting by a window. I'm doing a Sonder Social with my Sonder fam. This kind of anchors your reader in your world. Think about the golden thread by mentioning a specific shared memory that you have with this person or a reason they crossed your mind recently, what made them appear at the top of your page today, right? And then the open door, ask one low pressure question about their life to invite a response. And then you can write the word stamp in big letters at the bottom of your page as a commitment to send it, or you can literally go and grab a stamp and grab an envelope for this. Now, some of you may or may not be aware, we have a little unofficial kind of pen pal sign up here at Silk and Sonder. Our wonderful fellow co-facilitator Maya started it. If you're interested in that, I'm dropping the info in the chat. But one thing I will say, whether you're already participating in the pen pal thing or if you're thinking about participating, if it is going to stress you out, just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. I think if you decide to participate in the pen pal situation, you kind of have to do it for you. And what that means is like you have to understand that you are putting good out into the world just by like sticking that into a mailbox and brightening somebody else's day, even if it doesn't necessarily come back to you in return, because I think there's a lot of pen pals now. And so there are some people that I think are maybe like at the top of the list and maybe are getting picked quite often, and some people that aren't. It's nothing personal. Everybody's busy. I'm sure that everybody is very excited to get your letters and things, and they are probably working diligently on trying to return one to you. But don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to write 160 letters, right, to every single one of these people, or oh my gosh, I wrote 10 letters and I didn't get anything back. Like, let it be about the goodness that you are putting out in the world, that you are brightening somebody else's day. And if you do get a letter and you don't have time to respond, that's okay. Maybe snap a photo and post it in Sonder Club and just try thanking the person there. I think everybody here knows that life is crazy and busy, and hopefully nobody has any crazy expectations out there about this, right? So whether you are writing to a new pen pal already on the list, or you're joining the pen pal list, or you're starting a pen pal with somebody that's not on the list, there are some tips and prompts here for that as well. Since the person maybe doesn't know your house or city, you can describe that environment. Like, I'm writing from this messy kitchen table in Seattle. You could share a small joy instead of a memory. You can share a current favorite thing, and also the curiosity spark. Ask this or that to break the ice. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Do you like tea or do you like coffee? That sort of thing. And then remember the pen pal golden rules. No pressure, promise. Explicitly tell the recipient that they don't have to write back right away because it lowers the stakes for everyone. Focus on small talk, not deep talk. You don't want to share your whole life story in the first letter. Think of it like a paper trailer for the movie of your life. Decorate in the margins if you get stuck on words. Do a doodle. You should have some practice now. Or maybe even tape a little pouch of like your favorite tea or a cool pressed leaf or a sticker, any kind of visual icebreakers. Legibility is love. If your handwriting is notoriously difficult, try to slow down or maybe use print instead of cursive. And then consider adding a date to it because it helps the recipient understand how long the letter took to travel. So I will hop back and forth between all of these slides here, and then I'm going to give you some time to write your letter. Again, this could be for anyone in your life that you feel like this would brighten their day or hasn't heard from you in a while. It could be from somebody on our unofficial pen pal activity. Or if you don't feel like mailing it, it could be to a coworker that maybe you just don't get a lot of dedicated time with. Maybe they work in a different department, but you used to work together. It could be somebody in your other community spaces like church or book club, anything. It's amazing what a handwritten note to somebody can do for them. So I will put on some music for you all while you write your letters. Alrighty. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. If you can believe it, our time has come to a close. It always goes by so fast. And we actually had a good amount of time to do stuff tonight. So even with all the time to do stuff, it still flew by. We are doing this exclusive spring reset social. I say we, Jennifer, I was hosting it, so you know it will be fabulous. If you can make it and sign up, highly recommend. Even if you can't make it, if you sign up, they will send you the recording. I think it's going to be really good. So keep your eyes out for that. Malika's thrown a link in the chat. If you haven't tried the personalized life coach thing yet, highly recommend. I use it every week in my weekly setups, and having that in your pocket anytime you need it is amazing for help with journaling prompts, but also just life. And now you can actually text it directly too. You don't even have to go into the actual little app, or well, it's not an app, but the website. You don't have to log in. You can literally just text it, which is pretty cool. I will also share my playlist. I just have 3 giant master playlists that I pull from, but I have split them out into instrumentals, vocals, and then a master that has everything. So you're welcome to check those out or pull songs out of it for your own playlist, whatever works for you. But Malika and I are so happy that you all joined us here tonight. Thank you for being here and spending this time with you, exactly as you are right now. Definitely share with us in Sonder Club your doodle pages. We would love to see those. And again, this is recorded if you need to go back and watch anything. So until next time, be good to each other, and we'll see you all in Sonder Club. Bye.
And it's all because I'm working on my energy. Cleaning up, I'm taking care of myself and me. Drinking coffee, take a sip, they say I'm sparkling. Manifest, I write it down, you know it's happening. Working on my dream life. And my bank account be real fine. Got my skincare, yeah, I glow shine. You can see me from the moon. From the moon, yeah. How you been wasting your time? Yeah, you worry about the way I've been riding this vibe. Only interested in doing the things that I like. And the things I like on me. Cause last year was a mess, but I'm growing up. Thanking God that I'm so blessed, yeah, he showed me love. Said, girl, don't cheat yourself on this, get to grow up. And it's all because I'm working on my energy. Cleaning up, I'm taking care of myself and me. Drinking coffee, take a sip, they say I'm sparkling. Manifest, I write it down, you know it's happening. And I eat anything that I want. I got a belly, got a booty, got that dun-dun-dun. I'm on the grind, I level up, I do it just for fun. See you watching, take a picture, then a last for love.